Bliss then appears on the screen in 68 pounds of makeup and says she's going to...
I'm glad you said that, not me.
She was.
Oh, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying if I said it, I would be freaking lynched.
No, Dave. She was wearing so much makeup.
Okay.
This is a factual statement. I'm not saying anything negative about anybody. I'm pointing out, could you put more makeup on her? The answer is no, you couldn't have. She would have fallen face first because there's so much heavy makeup on her face.
I don't know that she had so much makeup she would have fallen face first.
Anyway.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. Now, y'all know I don't really like Brian Alvarez or Dave Meltzer, but I gotta throw him some bail on this one. Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live mentioned that on the Raw is 30 episode, Alexa Bliss was wearing too much makeup. And he made some jokes about Alexa Bliss wearing too much makeup. So you know what happened. Everybody started calling them misogynists. Everybody's going after them. But before we get into all of that, and we will, because this is a SMARK Tears segment. It's been a while since I did one, I think. But before we get there, I want to give my thoughts, because this is something that I think Brian Alvarez is not wrong about. In fact, you could spread it out across WWE. I mean, my God, Rhea Ripley comes out there looking like Crush sometimes. I mean, Shotzi, her skin, her face, the color of her face and the color of her hands are two different things. Sometimes she looks like Doink. It's ridiculous. They do put too much makeup on these girls. It is a fact. Is it the girls' fault? I don't know. I don't know what that process is like. Do they say, hey, I still look human, I still look like myself, add another 2 layers of paint on my face? I don't know. But it is a lot. Now, I'm not one to shame people for going after how things look. I do it all the time. I mean, I sit here and talk about truck driver Eddie Kingston all the time. And, you know, your boy burger flipper Kevin Owens. So I'm not saying that Alvarez's joke was out of line. It was perfectly in line. He didn't attack her. He said worse things about her wrestling skills than he said about this makeup. In fact, it wasn't that long ago when he was basically calling Alexa Bliss one of the worst wrestlers in the world. In fact, I think it was January the 3rd where he went off on a tangent about how awful Alexa Bliss was. So Alexa Bliss is a usual target for Brian Alvarez. But on this one, he's not wrong. On this one, he is not wrong. That girl was wearing entirely too much makeup. You could have painted a house with half the stuff she had on her face. She looked like a Bratz doll. And maybe that's the idea. That, you know, they want these chicks to just wear tons and tons of makeup. It's too much. You know? They stop looking like themselves. And it's a problem. You know? It's almost like when you you go to the funeral parlor and they trying to find some way of making you look human after you've been dead for several days. They just start slathering you in makeup, you know? And it's, in some ways, the WWE makeup department is that bad, you know? So, he's not wrong. So let's get into how people feel about it. Yeah, because you guys didn't come here to hear me talk about this. I can tell you that. You're here to listen to me make fun of people who are very upset about this. So let's get into it. Fuck you, Brian Alvarez, Dave Meltzer. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. Oh, Jesus. Are they serious? Makeup face paint has been a tradition in wrestling forever. And Alexa's makeup relates to the role or character she's playing. It's well known the women wear heavy makeup to look good while in the ring. Clowns! Yeah, maybe that is the case. But you could wear less. And when you wear makeup, it's supposed to be like war paint or, you know, something really over the top. Like, you know, Hawk and Animal. You know, like Sting. You know, that's cool. Makeup can be cool. You could do even female wrestler with makeup. That could be fine. Face paint, that's fine. What she was doing was sitting there and letting some child with crayons play with her face. No, this is not the same thing. I promise you, fan, it's not the same thing. I promise you it's not the same thing. Two weird basement dwelling creeps. Well, I don't do... Whose basement? I think Meltzer's basement is probably full of papers from 1986. He's collecting obituaries or some shit. Moving on. You get this and so much more for $12.99 a month. I tell you, give me $5 a month. And I still have my subscribe star up. $5 a month if you want. I just don't push it. I don't force it upon people. Someone says it has incel energy. They're incels because they made an observation. And to be quite honest, that's all this is. It's not a personal attack. It's an observation. They're looking at the screen. They see something appear on the screen that is quite amiss. And they're like, why is this young lady wearing so much of that thick stuff all over her face? And they mention it on their podcast where they have freedom of speech to say whatever they like. And somehow people come out of nowhere calling them incels. It is absolutely ridiculous. I don't like Dave or Brian, but this outrage is embarrassingly blown out of proportion. Literally, who cares? Good question. Really, who gives a damn? Apparently everybody who's tweeting about it. I just now saw it, so sorry. Hey, Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer, how about you sort your own shit out with your BS scoops before you body shame the best person ever made? Alexa Bliss is exact opposite of you, small-minded dickheads. You're a joke, and Sean Ross Sapp are millions times better than you. Good Lord. Ooh, and there was no punctuation whatsoever in that comment. Not a comma, not a period, nothing. I didn't even know technically by grammatical standards this tweet continues, okay, because there is no period. So there's no reason for this thing to ever stop, He just, I guess, reached his limit. Somebody says, I see nothing wrong with this. He was clearly making a joke and exaggeration. The only reason it's more than a passing comment is because Dave had to make a comment. But Alvarez says, I'm not saying anything negative. Lighten up, guys. Here's the issue. You just have to say it's an observation. You can't tell people what they can and cannot observe. That kind of control you're trying to force upon people is tyrannical. If I see something that is clearly visible, it's not something that I'm making up in my head or something that I'm jumping to a conclusion about. It's something that you presented to me. And I'm looking at it and saying to myself, you know what? This is a problem. And then somebody says, well, you're an idiot. You're an asshole. And I'm like, wait a minute. We all looking at this. Is the emperor wearing clothes? It's that kind of situation. Are you not supposed to mention it? I didn't mention it. Mainly because I had bigger fish to fry. Like my deep-seated hatred of Young Rock. To worry about Alexa Bliss wearing too much makeup. Besides, if I start talking about people wearing too much makeup, we'll be here all day. I wouldn't get through an episode of NXT. Again, these women do wear too much makeup. I would not get through an episode of NXT. I wouldn't get through the first hour of Raw. I would be just rambling on and on. Because the only person who seems like they don't wear enough makeup is Bayley. Everybody else is just caked in the face. It's ridiculous. I guess Bianca Belair is not as bad. But sometimes it's so bad that you do have to mention it. Rhea Ripley, Shotzi, and Alexa Bliss are very bad. Most of the time. Most of the time, Shotzi and Rhea Ripley are just unrecognizable. It's shameful. It's true, though. And there are times where Naomi was basically unrecognizable. But those are times past. All right, moving back on. The comments on Alex Bliss makeup are ridiculous, just so we're clear. Unnecessary and unwarranted. Dave Meltzer using the term lynched for potential public backlash is abhorrent. And she should be apologized for immediately. I, for one, Dave, say you don't need to apologize to me, okay? Lynched is a word that you're perfectly capable of using. I don't mind. I will give you the lynch card. Use it as you so fit. So we can add sexist to the list of why no one likes Brian Alvarez. Seriously. He's a sexist because he made an observation. I am mentally sick. This right there made it worse. And this isn't me being biased. I just hate this too even more than my high school bullies. Alexa Bliss is allowed to put makeup how much she wants. It's her decision, not yours. Go suck it before talking again about someone. I am mentally sick. Mentally with one L, by the way. And then it's also not about you, weirdo. Stop making things about you, you weirdo. What a losers. What a losers. What a losers. I like that one. The embarrassing part is they think they're dead funny. I don't know. I think Alvarez is trying to be funny. I think he was successful to a degree. It was humorous. It wasn't like, a Bernie Mac stand-up, but it was funny. I chuckled. So the first wrestling Twitter has a meltdown about the, quote, lack of women on rocks. Then, a few days later, they join in on making fun of a female wrestler for makeup while on said show, SED show. You literally can't make this up. No pun intended. You can't make this up. That was a good one. That was a decent pun. That was a solid pun. This MFer needs to put on some makeup himself. Well, okay, sure, whatever. Go for it. These ugly fucks. The way people nitpick every single little thing about Alexa Bliss needs to be studied. Oh yes, I forgot to talk about, as I've discussed in Too Much Makeup, the only person that I routinely talk about in terms of them wearing too much makeup is Lash Legend. And this is why, and you already know what I'm going to say, it makes her look like a drag queen. Every single time. That's something I will not ignore. Because they've had Rhea Ripley wearing too much makeup for 2 years. Shotzi, too much makeup for 2 years. I can't mention it every single week. But Lash Legend is very egregious. She looks like Wesley Snipes when he was in that fucking movie. What's that movie? Tu Wan Fu. Whenever they have Lash Legend wearing too much makeup, she just looks like a man. And I cannot stand it. I will not stand for it. Our sister in Christ, Lash Legend, will not be demeaned in this way. I want her to look respectful. This one's offensive. Brian Alvarez is the Ben Shapiro of wrestling. Why would you say that? Why would you say that? Why would you offend Ben Shapiro that way? WWE's makeup department since Ronda Rousey joined has always been fucking horrific. Well, it was a little bad before that. I think it's gotten worse in recent years. Because especially with some of the ways they had Sasha looking in the last couple of years. But yeah, WWE's makeup department has been a huge mess. It's awful. It's bad, bro. It's not good. Here's one. Why won't men stay out of women's business? What? This woman's on TV. Well, I'm sorry. Again, it's just an observation. Imagine that you're over 30 and you're talking about the makeup that female wrestlers put on. These guys are pathetic. I looked and he does not have his pronouns in the bio. I thought he might. So, let's see. If you're still listening to these two goofies in 2023, you're a very sad person that needs to touch grass. Oddly enough, pronouns in bio. But also, I do agree with this comment. Don't listen to David Meltzer and Brian Alvarez. They suck. They're really bad at everything. For anyone who throws up the WWE women deserve better, if you're subscribed to them, as in paying them, then you're disqualified from talking about the WWE's women's division. Full stop. So you are banned from having an opinion if you have ever paid for Brian Alvarez or Dave Meltzer. I think you should be banned from having an opinion if you pay for these fucking idiots. But not on the makeup tip. I mean, again, it's an observation. It's like if it's snowing outside right now, right? If I look out the window, I'm like, damn, there's a lot of snow out there. Am I attacking the snow or the ground? Who am I attacking? We're just mentioning that, baby girl wearing too much makeup. Oh boy, here we go. Where are the comments about Sting? about Jeff Hardy, Darby, Dustin, Boogeyman, Papa Shango, Demon Dollar? Or is it just the women you two can't pull? Oh, God. You know what the difference between all of that stuff is? Sting has a character in which he paints his face. Jeff Hardy has a character in which he paints his face. Darby Allin, Dustin, Boogeyman, Papa Shango, Finn Balor, they all have characters in which they paint their face. Why does Alexa Bliss wearing too much makeup? How does that equate to Demon Balor or Finn Balor, who does not regularly paint his face, all of a sudden painting his face to note a change of persona? If that was the case, then Alexa Bliss wouldn't wear so much makeup. That she already wears too much makeup. There's no symbolism to Alexa Bliss wearing so much makeup on TV. It's just how the makeup department makes her look. That's all. It's a huge difference. It's always the ugly old men speaking on beautiful women they can't pull. Oh, yes, you can't pull Alexa Bliss. Ooh. Somebody responded, they aren't insulting her, though. People are way too sensitive these days, so she was wearing a lot of makeup. Facts. MJF uses excessive spray tan. Facts. As well, it's not that deep. Yeah, we used to, again, people make fun of Mandy Rose. I think I even called Mandy Rose a black woman once or twice because her spray tan was so strong. You know, people make fun of Donald Trump because of his spray tan and his orange tinted skin. The same thing with Hulk Hogan. It's just an observation. Why can we not make observations that might offend people? So what? So what? It's just an observation, for crying out loud. I don't think anybody ever said she wasn't pretty enough. I don't know where we got that from. Let's continue. Funny they comment on wearing too much makeup, considering Meltzer looks like a cranberry golem and Alvarez looks like the biggest Poindexter in history. I'm not sure what a Poindexter looks like, but if it looks like, but Alvarez is not a big guy. I think Alvarez is like 5'7". It's not like he's like 6 foot anything. So if he's the biggest Poindexter in history, who's the smallest? But Cranberry Golem is fucking awesome. A Cranberry Golem. Ooh, that's good. Oh, shit. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Dave the Cranberry Golem Meltzer. Good Lord. The way I always know these men are ugly without a single word being heard. Alexa really keeps these people so pressed, minding her business. Oh boy. Oh Jesus Christ. Here we go. Oh look, 2 straight white males talking about a woman wearing, quote, too much makeup. Shocker. This person has a Sasha Banks profile picture. And guess what? Sasha Banks is wearing too much makeup. Moving on. Remember, AEW women wrestler want to get recognized by these 2 pigs. That's a good point. Britt Baker did say she hoped Meltzer likes her match, in which she bled all over the place and fell on thumbtacks. She's an absolute mark. Let's not forget that. That shouldn't be forgotten. That should be commemorated for all time. Here we go. Women age, judged when they do wear makeup and when they don't. From guys like this that don't wash their own buttholes. Pardon? How do you know whether they wash their own buttholes or not? Who made you? Who died and made you butthole washer? Ugh. Yikes. Online wrestling fans when women aren't covered in horrific amounts of blood. I mean, yeah, that blood was kind of gross. I mean, whatever. It's always the men that literally know nothing, and have nothing better to do with their lives than bring down other women for no reason. Ooh. Thank goodness, without Dave and Brian, women would have no idea how much makeup to wear. Yeah, if it makes you like a completely different person, it's too much. It is entirely too much. And you know what? Sometimes that's the point, And that's the thing that really kind of messes with people, is we know about the makeup deception when it comes to women. You know, there was a guy, I forget where he was, but he sued his wife or something like that because when she took all her makeup off, she looked like a completely different person. You know, I'm telling you, it's not good. Stop doing it. You know, it's not good. Somebody said they're not wrong. She had an obscene amount of makeup on. The WWE makeup people are the absolute dirt worst at their jobs. I agree. That will get a heart. WWE makeup is not good. It's not. It's awful. They need a complete overhaul of that joint. How does Dave always manage to make himself look worse when shit like this happens? Lynched. Seriously? Come on. Jesus. Are you serious? Old white guys say old white guy things. Never understood why people listen to them. I don't know, man. That's crazy. Spreading false reports. Check. Acting like a douche to females. Check. Mid-wrestler. Check. You know, all that might be true, but you also left out that Brian Alvarez is a pencil neck geek, and he's been that way for a long time. The thing is, people only really like these guys when they can agree with them. When they spend 30 years talking about Fed bad, everybody is right there clapping like seals. Yeah, you're absolutely right. As soon as they, you know, kick the hornet's nest in another direction, all of a sudden they're the worst guys in the world and they're awful and they should burn in hell and all that kind of stuff. But it's not really all that called for, okay? Just relax. Alvarez and Meltzer embarrassing themselves. That's a common occurrence as the sun rising in the east and setting in the west. Ugh. Is the locker room going to come after Dave? No. No, they're not. Wait until they see Danhausen. You mean Danhausen, the character? Like, what is it about Alexa Bliss's character to where she has to wear that much makeup on her face? It's one thing, again, if she were playing a character that required for her to wear that makeup or wear a different kind of makeup that, you know, maybe is a little heavier than usual. That would make sense. She was in the mirror on Raw, not doing anything. And it was supposed to be a beautification makeup, not I'm a scary character or I'm a creepy goblin makeup. No, come on. Everybody knows it's the two different things. Everybody knows it's two different things. Everybody knows it's two different things. They're so fucking annoying. Like, why does makeup matter to anybody? They're not doing it to please you. Well, it's an observation. Fuck, this is Twitter. Everything on Twitter, 99.9% of it is observations. It's just, hey, have you noticed that Blue Jays are blue and Cardinals are red? And then some idiot will be like, well, Blue Jays can be red too. It's like, no, they can't. That's why they're not called Red Jays, motherfucker. It's just an observation. You don't have to respond to it. You don't even have to like it. It's just an observation. Fuck this. It's great wrestling content. Anyone who willing to consume their podcast would give themselves a wobble. What? Fuck this is great wrestling content. Anyone who willing consumes their podcast should give themselves a wobble. What? I don't know. I don't. This is fucking hilarious. Like, why is he making a big deal out of this? Why is he so pressed about how much makeup a woman wears? Brian Alvarez is literal cancer. Well, he's not literally cancer. He's figurative cancer. Cancer nonetheless, but, you know, he's not literally in your body replicating and going to kill you. Chemotherapy won't get rid. Well, it might get rid of his ass, depending on how much of it you use. People are calling them clowns and losers. It's really quite violent. Yeah, this is too much makeup. It's too much makeup, dog. Entirely too much makeup. What a clown comment. If you want to call out WWE's makeup team because you think they're overdoing it, be clear about it. Otherwise, you're an ass. Well, as long as you don't blame the woman, it's okay. Even though it's her face, even though she looked in the mirror, saw all of that cake crap all over her face. She's decorated, not paint. She's decorated, all right? She's walking around here like a Christmas tree, all lit up in the face. like somebody decided to go Basquiat all over her face, and all of a sudden, as long as you call out the makeup team, it's like, no, it's her face. You know, like, hey, take some ownership of your goddamn face. Don't put all that shit on my face. First off, Alvarez is fucking weird as fuck, but lynched to use it in this context is nasty as fuck. Ugh. Relax. Just relax. Dave, what happened to you after you called out Peyton Royce fat was not a lynching? Please do not compare yourself to victims of lynchings. Oh. Ooh. Oh, God. Alexa's makeup is a known talking point in a certain section of wrestling fans. Quote, not anything bad, my ass. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, he's poking the bear. He got everybody to retweet this damn tweet to the point where even I saw it, and I don't like these guys. So, and I'm blocked by Meltzer. So if I saw this, then, you know, it's obviously because other people were retweeting it. I implore the wrestling community to leave Alvarez and Meltzer in 2022. Look, it's almost the end of the month. If they're still around in 2023, if they're still here, they ain't going nowhere. I think we should be done with this. What a weird thing to say. I thought we were over these kind of comments. Oh, no. You have to be quiet. It's like one of those times where somebody's going to grab your lips and close them because you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to talk. You know, it's ridiculous. People, you know, there are some people who are willing to pay to hear these people's opinion. And guess what? They have a right to. Look, they have a lot of garbage opinions. There's a lot of garbage opinions that, you know, they dump out. There's a lot of garbage opinions that's dumped on the internet, period. It happens. You know, if you don't agree with it, then so be it. Find something you do agree with. So here, let's go. All right, I have to admit it. When this segment started, it was the very first thing I noticed. If that makes me a dick, then okay, but it's nothing personal. It's a negative on WWE's television production and their insistence that people look a certain way. Well, this thing makes her look like she's Chinese or something. Like, it's too much makeup. Apparently, Dave Meltzer put out an apology. Is that what this is? Or is this an apology from? It's a screenshot. So apparently, it must be from a different time, because he has made comments about women's bodies before, and then had to get on his hands and knees and apologize. Speaking from a complained moron from the 10 years to crying and bitching WWE product and still watch it, Brian, honest to God, shut up. Unhappy troll. This is a very much poor from Dave and Alvarez. Anyways, no one rates them. This is a good one. They're two clowns in a cheap circus. Oh. Two clowns in a cheap circus. My God. They're two clowns from a cheap. I love that one. That's a good one. One more thing, you're mad because Alexa can't be yours. Then this person continues. Alexa Bliss didn't have 68 pounds of makeup on. Her makeup was gorgeous last. How dare you? I hope none of you get girlfriends, because what if she wears 68 pounds of makeup? Yeah, let that sink in. Your jealousy is ridiculous. Again, no punctuation, no separation of ideas. Elon Musk, would you please? You know, you need to have passed like Hooked on Phonics or something like that to be able to tweet. Jesus Christ. How can I supposed to read this? What ideas am I supposed to get out of this? What a bunch of run-on sentences. These two fucking suck. Them having a platform is embarrassing. Well, what are you going to do about it? That's my question. What are you going to do about it? Here's another one. Boy, people are really missing out on the thing to be mad about today on the women's wrestling front. The hell is Alvarez trying to do here? He's trying to say that she's wearing too much makeup. It's a common. It's just not that big of a deal, I promise you. Alvarez and Dave have always had a little thing against Bliss personally. So this isn't shocking that two people who for some reason don't like you decide to shit on makeup, which shows how petty they are. There was one comma in that sentence. I gotta stop being a grammar Nazi. I gotta stop it. It's hard to read this. Okay, it's hard doing this. Cause I have to try to do this in one breath, and I can't stop and think and everything. Like, come on, what's the hell? I just know these geeks got severely bullied and rejected by girls at school, and this is their pathetic way of dealing with it all these years later. Once a geek, always a geek. Well, that's true. I'm pretty sure Dave Meltzer was made fun of in school. I'm pretty sure somebody pushed Dave Meltzer into the lockers. I'm pretty sure he got his fair share of wedgies. I'm sure he got a noogie or two. I'm sure somebody stole his lunch money and knocked him over the head and stole his Hulk Hogan lunch box or whatever. No, he would have been a grown man when Hulk Hogan was around. Still, I'm sure bad things happened to him, as bad things happen to us all. But come on, I don't think this has anything to do with that. Okay. And Alexa still looks better than you two overgrown incel ogres ever will. Oof. Two incel ogres. Oh my God. They get called ogres so many times. Dave Meltzer is 70 and looks like an ogre, and the other one's testicles have yet to drop. But they want to criticize Alexa's flawless makeup? Come on, flawless? Flawless? Come on. Come on, brother. Let's not get ridiculous here. This comment is actually from Reddit, because I went over to Reddit just to shoot the shit. Yeah, let's shit on a woman's makeup and therefore her appearance who went through body dysmorphia and eating disorders. Real classy, guys. What the fuck? This sub is becoming the worst kind of hive mind cesspit. Weren't y'all just calling everyone sexist yesterday over the Ruby thinning? Again, it's supposed to be thing, but it's spelled thinning. Okay? I read it like it was written. Now, this is what a lot of the Alexa Bliss fans are going through. Alexa Bliss went on television and talked about her body dysmorphia and this kind of stuff. And people are like, hey, you can't make fun of her because she had this mental thing about, I think her body dysmorphia led to her getting a boob job or something like that, and it made her feel better. But if you can't make fun of anybody, regardless of their reasoning, because, it may hurt my mental health, then guess what? You can't make fun of anyone, ever. So you might as well just shut down your podcast, unless you're going to in a very sterile tone, read exactly what occurred on the show. Alexa Bliss defeated Bianca Belair by disqualification. Can't give you an opinion on the match because I might hurt somebody. Both of these women in this match have mental disorders and suffer from body dysmorphia, so I can't mention either one of their gear, their makeup, their hair, or anything about it. And since they're in such fragile mental conditions, I cannot give my opinion on the match because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But the match occurred and Alexa Bliss won that match. It's like that. How boring is that? No, we're not doing that. You know what? I can almost guarantee you, nobody is listening to my show. All right? I can guarantee you that. You know, when I get to a certain level that people are retweeting and stuff like that, maybe I'll reconsider. But at this point, no, I'm going hard. I don't care. Nobody's listening to this shit. Whatever I say is not going to reach Alexa Bliss's ears. So why should I be concerned about her mental state? She's not going to hear this. She's not going to hear it. And when other people, or like what happened with the JD from New York thing, people were retweeting it to her. So it's like, you supposedly care so much about her mental state, but you're the one actually tweeting her garbage from dudes she wouldn't even know exist unless you told her. So it's sad, bro. It's real sad. But again, this isn't more of an attack on WWE's makeup department, which is true. The makeup department is awful. Reading through this subreddit, it says that some people are talking about Ronda Rousey, and apparently the reason she looks like Sly Cooper every week is because she has her own little makeup team. So that means she's paying extra people to make her look that bad. It's unfortunate, but it's true. I don't know why. All right, let's go back over to Twitter. Imagine being Meltzer and Alvarez and making fun of Roxanne Perez and Alexa Bliss because of their makeup. Tells you everything you need to know about those two nincompoops. It's been a while since somebody called another person a nincompoop. It's been a minute. And you know what? It's an underrated diss. You know, I'm not even sure what a nincompoop is. Like, I know a lot of things, but calling somebody a nincompoop, I don't know how to process that. That's a pretty good one. Roxanne Perez, does she wear too much makeup? I think most of the NXT roster wears too much makeup. You know, I just think that it's too much. You know, like, it's a lot, all right? And when your face is shining and your hands are two different colors, it's too much. You know, like, sometimes, man, they be wearing so much makeup, their lips start to sag. And it doesn't make no sense. You know, WWE needs to stop it. Somebody needs to do a change.org petition to stop WWE from piling on too much makeup to these women's wrestlers. They need to stop it. Okay, enough. Most of these chicks are not ugly. You know, there's no reason that you need to cover their faces and hide them from the world. You know, because most of the time makeup would not help, even if it was, even if they did have too much. You know, it wouldn't help. But it's just sad. It's sad and kind of, I wouldn't say depressing. It's just sad. But it's, once again, Dave Meltzer going after Alexa Bliss. He went after Alexa Bliss not too long ago, too, for how she wrestled on television. That one kind of went unnoticed because, you know, almost everybody can just universally just shrug when it comes to Alexa Bliss and her work. But when it comes to her looks, the Simps going to come a-running. It's like, this woman is married. Unless her husband going to fist fight everybody who talks about her, I wouldn't be going out here defending her. And besides, you can make an observation that is fair and not be in any way attempted to be offensive. You know, if he wanted to be offensive, he would have said something a lot more offensive and you would have talked about her personally and not just how silly her makeup looked, you know? But whatever. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
MagMongoSlade. Best house I ever drew, Daddy.